Hello, hello, and welcome back to Retrieving Sanity with our podcast host Keegan. And this is your podcast for all mental health, addiction, recovery issues, and topics. And we are a proud partner with Start Day One and Podcast for Prevention. So go ahead and check us out. Text podcast to 44-321. But aside from that, we have a very awesome and super special guest, and her name is Oksana Pysarieva. I know I butchered that. I'm so sorry. But how are you doing today? You're a psychologist in a place that is dealing with a lot of psychological terror, really. But enough of me trying to introduce you poorly. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're from?
Okay, thanks for invitation. First of all, it's a great pleasure. And who I am? Okay, I'm psychologist, psychotherapist from
Mm-hmm.
Ukraine. I live in Kiev and I do my job there. I haven't left Ukraine when the full-scale invasion started, and I'm still here. And I'm working for a charity foundation, Voices of Children, and our foundation deals with psychosocial support, not only psychological but also social support for kids and for families, because kids are part of family system. That's why we deal with the full family system.
Mm.
And Our organization started earlier than earlier back in 2018, but when the full-scale invasion started, uh, we had to grow. We had to become bigger and do it very quickly. so so now we have more than 200 psychologists, and also we have psychiatrics in our staff, kids psychiatrics, really narrow specialists in their field, and that is important because we are going through war experience,
Mm-hmm.
and it's important to give uh, uh, huge support and have plenty of different instruments for this. And what else? I'm a wife, mom, a daughter. What else about me? Kind of ordinary woman that wants
What?
to survive in this war and
Mhm.
keep mental health for me and for people I can.
And that is way too awesome. I've got to say thank you on behalf of everyone that you help, because I'm sure you help people way more than you'll ever really even know. Because a lot of the things that you do are really going to be planting seeds as well as helping heal wounds. Um, and so you may never see some of the fruits of your labor. Like you may not see that kid 30 years down the line, but at the same time, you know that you got to help them through that little part. And I think that that's awesome. Um,
Exactly, exactly. We hope that everything we do now will bring back some benefits, maybe in 10 years, in 15
mhm,
and 20 years, when this generation will stand to the rule and
mhm,
will lead our country, lead society. And that's why we see the importance of our work, not for now, but also for future.
mhm. And with that being said, how many people have you actually seen so far? Because surely that's got to be a big number with everything going on. And like you said, you all had to pull in and grow resources really quick. So, how many people has actually shown up and asked for help? Is one of the things.
Or it's very complicated to count the real number
Hmm.
because we do really a lot. But what can be said that uh, uh, I think that each psychologist has kind of 4 people a day like
Wow.
if we take some average number, four
Hmm.
people a day, sometimes it can be six, sometimes it can be two, but average number kind of four people a day. So
Hmm.
since the war started, you can count easily. Each of us has a really huge number,
Hmm.
each of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, that sounds like a really big workload. And so I know that whenever people are dealing with wounds and such as first responders or psychologists such as yourself, people tend to take on trauma as well. Secondary trauma, I think it's called. Um, and so y'all have to take care of yourselves too, right?
Of course, it's a very important part of our system, because it's a really common question, and our colleagues from abroad usually ask. And here in Ukraine, of course, people ask about our expertise and the system that helps us do this work daily, and don't be exhausted, and have resource and have some stance.
Hmm.
That's why in our organization we have a system that supports all psychologists, and not only psychologists but the whole staff. We have supervision sessions, individual and group ones, and a lot of our specialists have their personal psychotherapy as well, because like it's uh, mm, very important not to get this secondary trauma, and
Hmm.
to keep your resource, your personal resource. It's something that each psychologist should take into account when you think about this profession, that you first of all you should take care about your health like doctor do. So your mental health. And no, at first we didn't have it really. We got it maybe several months later, but then we realized that it's a necessity to have this intervision meeting for psychologists once a month, supervision meeting once a month, individual meetings with supervisions and psychotherapists, for us uh, to share like our feelings, our observations, our difficulties, and be supported.
Hmm. Yeah. That's something that a lot of people don't think about is that the psychologists need other psychologists too.
Exactly, exactly, because uh, you can't do this job for a long time without support, without someone
Hmm.
you can come and say, guys, i'm I feel blue. I have no resource, I hate my job, and people who just can listen it, and I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and get the support. It's
Hmm.
important because we all people, and we work with our resource every day.
Hmm. And if we don't keep track of our resources, we'll end up being burnt out. And if I'm burnt out, I'm no use to anyone. And I'm sure that that would apply to y'all as well, but almost doubly so because I have the I wouldn't say luxury, maybe luxury, but I'm not in the same situation that y'all are in. So my burnout would look way different and everything like that. But for y'all are dealing with a battle on two fronts. You're dealing with the one that's actually going on outside of buildings and something that has a real life impact, and then you're dealing with the one that's inside the mind, and that one can be way more difficult to deal with because it's a maze in there. It's a labyrinth for some people, and it's something that we need those kind of warriors too. And so I've got to say thank you for taking up those kind of arms because uh, without y'all, we wouldn't have healthy minds. We wouldn't be able to rebuild properly after a place has been torn apart. So, what is it that you find most difficult trying to make peace with the people that come to see you? What are some of the? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, it's very complicated question because each individual needs personal collection, personal set of instruments,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it's kind of you know exploration. It's work uh, where we involve together me and the child also, or a teenager or an adult. When we're talking about parents, it's kind of um, discovery. You try to open this very complicated conflict
Mm-hmm.
and find out where is the key, especially where is the key to a kid, because sometimes parents come and say, um, there is a fear to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my kid is frightened to sleep, and what was the reason, what caused this problem? And we all together try to I try to get parents to be involved. uh, I try myself to be involved and a kid to be involved, and I use plenty of different instruments to find out what was the reason. Reasons can be different,
Mm-hmm.
especially taking into account this war situation in Ukraine. And for example, last 2 months, um, yeah, for last 2 months, maybe three, maybe already, we've been living under every night shahed drone attacks.
Oh.
So it's every night, and we have this air alarm every night. And like my son is joking, oh, 10 o'clock, the Star War is starting. And like it's really Star Wars episode. And kids are frightened of this, like this feeling that you are waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes uh, these shaheds can be can fly to one part of our country, sometimes to another, and they see parents checking their mobile phones about this air alarm. Where are the shaheeds now? Whether we can stay at home or we should go to shelter. So get used to the situation. Sometimes kids could sleep and miss this air alarm, and then after that they are frightened to sleep because they were awakened by bombing, no, like by very strong noise, and no, it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we got used to it, but still, it's scary. And but sometimes it's not about war situation; it's about something else. So first of all, we should find out what caused the reason, and then we are looking for instrument to overcome this problem. And
Mm-hmm.
there are plenty of things by the to be done and to be discovered with each person individually.
Mm-hmm. And I'm so sorry to hear about the drone attacks. Uh, that is heartbreaking that you'll have to deal with that every night. Um, and it sounds like your son developed a sense of humor to cope with it. uh,
Yeah,
and
I think that all of us,
mhm.
our secret weapon, Ukrainian secret weapon, is humor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, can you give me a little bit more of an example? Because I think humor is a very important part in life, and if y'all have that as your secret weapon, I'd love to hear some of the ways that y'all are able to use humor in a war torn country.
Uh, Maybe you heard about memes, like these pictures. Each case, everything that happens
Mm-hmm.
um, brings different jokes. Like people invent jokes very quickly. So something happens around the world, and we have jokes about it. Everything, like we have joke. The night was as usual. So first we didn't. There was blackout. Then there was rocket attack. Then drone attack. And what? In the morning, we had cup of coffee, bought some cakes, and went to job. So and what? So like yeah, it's the way out to laugh, to make it not that dramatic. Of course it is dramatic. Of
Mm-hmm.
course when people feel feel kind of exhausted, or people in grief, or people that lost home or relatives, or friends, or families are separated. It's very complicated. It brings plenty of feelings, like fear, disappointment, uh, grief, uh, like this trauma of losing and depression. But we try some, but these jokes, I think that they help kind of smile. When you smile, even for 1 or 3 seconds, it gives your brain this signal uh, that life is not that bad. You can survive. You get some resource when you smile. Smile is very good pill. But not always it helps. Sometimes it's important to cry.
Mm-hmm.
And kids come in, especially teenagers, come into my cabinet. I try support them not only with humor but also with this possibility to cry. Uh, and I believe it's important to give them the place and the time and respect to their tears, and support this process as well. uh, n- like it's very important not to keep this container inside us with feelings full.
Mm-hmm.
Give the place and time for person to like empty it in different ways. Sometimes it's kind of anger, like especially for teenagers. They come, they angry with all the situations,
Mm-hmm.
uh, coming around and going around. And when I give them this possibility to shout, uh, to say sometimes dirty words, to um, tore paper, or to just stab or beat something. We have huge like pills, and they can beat them, or we can fight with this pill. It also helps them to kind uh, mm, feel easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I really love how you're uh using humor as your secret weapon because, like you said, it uh does make my brain go like, yeah, life's not so bad. Uh, and so y'all could use all that resource that y'all can get. Um, so I definitely encourage y'all to smile every day, but y'all don't need me telling you that by any means. Um, but I do like how you were able to transition it into saying, but tears are also really important too, because that was one of the things that I myself had a huge time with actually accepting and letting myself do was to cry. It just, I never felt safe by myself either, so it made it hard to do that. But it sounds like you promote such an environment where it's welcoming, it's safe, and you allow them to express themselves without judgment. And rather, instead of telling them you shouldn't do that, you probably ask, well, what made you do that? Why did you do it that way? Because it sounds like you say you use a lot of different tools, which would be like modalities and stuff like that, correct? Um,
Yeah, plenty of tools really, and sometimes it can be very unusual, experiment, but it helps.
mhm,
We have of course, we use art therapy in all means. It's everything. It's clay, it's sand, it's uh, pencil drawing, and really a lot of things. But you never know what can help, what can
mhm,
work. Uh, it's kind of very creative work, especially when you work with kids. You should create everything. You should create something. And we work not only in cabinet, really, no, not only in office. We have 15 places,
mhm,
15 centers around our country, but also we have mobile groups, people who go to um, some villages or small towns not far from front line, like Sumy region, Chernihiv region, Kherson region, Mykolaiv region. These villages and small towns, they are really close to front line, and
mhm,
we can't have centers there, but still there are kids, there are families, and it's very important for us to come there and support these kids where they live. Especially plenty of families left these places because it's dangerous, it's complicated to live there, and those who left feel isolated, abandoned, and when mobile group comes, as it's important, they feel that they someone cares about them, so it's very important. But also we have online support, and kids from all over the world can um, um, give the request and get these kids and family, like parents can and have this support, psychological support. It was done also for those who live in small villages and towns, and for those who were replaced, internally replaced abroad to different
mhm,
countries, and have, this migration problem to settle at new place, new culture. Um, uh, Parents are busy looking for job, for place to live, documents, plenty of stuff, and kids, no, they have not enough time to take care, to be involved as much as they did when they lived some, for example, in Kherson or in Zaporizhia region or in Donetsk region or Kharkov region, when they
mhm,
lived at home, had their regular job, and had more time to to be involved into their kids' life. And those kids also need support, psychological one. They were like replaced from their roots, without their parents, from their classmates, and so on and so forth, sport clubs, their interests, everything was just cut in
mhm,
one day. And we have online support also. That's why we have to be creative, because when you work in the center, you have your office, you have plenty of instruments you can work with, but when it's very far away online, we had to, promote new ways to work. And sometimes each of us has, like office at home with cards, with some toys, with a lot of things, to continue work, even when we are far, far away, like in Canada and in Ukraine,
wow. Uh, that is crazy that y'all do so much. And I mean, I'm just blown away by it because the amount of work that has to go into it, and this is Camp Plus is something that you developed, correct? Um,
Camp Plus is one of our programs. So
mhm.
we have like organization is huge. So we have centers, and each center provides during holidays daily camps.
Ooh.
It's usually for holiday time, like
Mhm.
summer or winter long ones. We have daily camps, but also we have Camp Plus program, and also we have camps for kids. So what is special about Camp Plus program? It's family recovery program. It's
Mm.
for families, for soldiers' families, and kids can come with their moms together,
Mm.
and very often these are families where a dad is serving in the army, or for example mom and dad, and kid comes with aunt or granny, someone who takes care about this child during this time.
Mhm.
And very often these are families with the trauma of losing, because their dad um, uh, died died at this war,
Mhm.
or sometimes it's trauma, like just a sec, I should remember how to say it in English. uh, Unstated trauma. So
Mm.
when dad was uh, mm, I forgot the word. It's kind of always looking for a word in English. Uh, uh, mm, mm,
Say
when
and say it
lost,
in your
lost,
lost. Okay.
lost when they don't know
Mm.
whether he is alive or not, or captured. I forgot how to say it in English.
Missing.
Missing, yes, thank you. Missing. And what is important about this Camp Plus program, we have we help them to recover and come back to life, because it's very complicated trauma,
Mhm.
or some or were captured, so lost, missing, or captured. And it's huge trauma for the family, and usually mothers, they don't have enough resource to support their kid to go through this trauma, because they are beaten with it.
Mhm.
uh, they need support, and this Camp Plus program was organized to help the family system to go through this difficult time, recover, and build something new to continue life without.
Mhm.
That's why it's important. So they come for 3 weeks to some place. It's in the west of our country. The safest, no, like we think that it is the safest, but previous week showed that it is not. It was attacked hugely, and they stay in a good hotel uh, with feeding and everything. No, like every no taking care with, like some staff takes care about it, and they
Mm.
work with psychologists. There are groups for moms separately, and they work with psychologists every day, and groups for kids, different groups, because kids of different age, and they also work with psychologists, and there are common gathering groups
Mm.
for both kids and moms, where they share their experience, support each other, do something together. And this 3 weeks life helps to you know to uh, get through it a bit, to come back to life, to share with other women your pain, to share with other kids your pain, and to feel that you're not alone in your grief. And after all, it gives good results because they they make friends, they make ties, and they continue communication afterwards, and support each other. The most important part in this trauma of losing and uh, in process of grieving, not to feel isolated, not to feel abandoned. That was our aim, and we worked out special program, special protocols, um, because when we started we realized that there is no program that's suited to us, and we created it, worked out, and now it was recommended by our ministry and our Academy of Science for common use.
Oh wow, wow. That sounds like that's a big thing. And I'm just saying that because I don't know the cultural context entirely, and what that means. But it sounds like it just got really recognized to be the big thing that it really is, because you're not only helping individuals recover and get through some really hard times, you're helping the whole family. And you're not just saying, oh hey, y'all lost your dog and now everyone's really upset. You're talking about a family member, a crucial family member, because every member of the family is crucial, let's admit it. And you are also dealing with people that are getting uprooted and moving and having to do all of this stuff. And I just am blown away that y'all were able to start something like that, because uh, I really couldn't believe that a place like that wouldn't have sprung up from the ashes. And uh, I probably said that entirely wrong. What I'm trying to say is, y'all take such a massive undertaking as it is, so y'all still need all the help that y'all can get too. Uh, so what is it that someone like myself or people elsewhere can help to donate to Camp Plus or something? Is there something we can do along those lines? Because I mean, if we can help, I would love to help.
Lately, kind of, we had our first anniversary, like 5 years since, yes, 5 year old for our organization, since our organization started its job. And we're joking that it's the organization um, where never sun sets, because we have friends all over the world, and
Hmm.
really we exist on the nations, and it really helps and supportive. Like we also feel not abandoned and not isolated when we understand that people around the world take care and donate, talk about us, share information about us, and it really supports and helps us to make our next projects. And now we understand that we need some, like, now we make these camps in different places, yeah, but now we understand that we need some, no, our place, a huge one, some center, and we got land for it, and we now we have project. It was made pro bono to build some psychological center, and it's a huge goal. And as no, like small part of this organization, I really do my best, but I when I think about our founders, like Azad Safarov, Elena Razvadovska, um, who really push every day, push this project. I don't know where they take this energy, because during the war to build psychological center for kids and families is sometimes it's kind of crazy, but I hope that we will do it. So when people donate, they donate into future, into they donate into new generations,
Hmm.
because we work with kids, with families. They donate into society that we will have, and I think that this center is something that we really need, because um, uh, mm, all wars, they finish one day or another, but the consequences of it, we will have for next maybe 10, 15 years, and we need places with good expertise and such uh, with methodology and with good professionalists gathered at one place. So how you can support? You can donate, and you can share information. You can talk about us, about Ukraine, about our country, and you can remind other people that the childhood has its um, line. It's just until you're 18,
Hmm.
and then it's over. And what can we give our kids now? We can give them a childhood, even in wartime.
Hmm.
So you do a lot, but when you give you give children childhood, you uh, uh, help build a healthy, mentally healthy society in future, and you stand with Ukraine in our fight.
That is way too cool. Um, so how does someone go and donate if they'd like to? Uh,
Um,
is it campplus.org or something like
so
that?
we have our website.
Hmm.
It's voices.org.ua. It's easy, voices.org.ua, and there is like when you it's in English. We have in
Hmm.
Ukrainian and in English, and there is a special link for donation. It's not only Camp Plus. It's like you can use this link and see how you can donate and where and for what. We have all reports on our website.
Hmm.
So, and also you can share our website and some information and some articles about our work. We share, yeah, that's it. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, that's it. And it's easy.
Okay. Um, that's really cool. I'm going to put that back up there, just so that it doesn't just disappear and people can go there uh, for the whole time. So, I just wanted to bring that up because I know things like this need funding, they need support, and any little bit always goes a long way, whether they know it or not. And I wanted to backtrack a little bit real quick though, because y'all do online stuff for people far away too. Uh, so how does online counseling with all this war torn stuff actually go with um the in person? Because the the connection is still there, but it's also not, right? How do you feel about doing stuff entirely online? Do you try to get those children in or those people into the Camp Plus camp itself? Um,
Uh, no, we just offer some sessions, uh,
mm,
sessions for this. No, for request. It's kind of request when
mm-hmm,
they have request. we do sessions.
Ah.
If you want to get to camp, you should make an like application.
Mm-hmm.
We have some applications, and you set the application, and then you have some interview, and you get to camp. So
Ah.
even if you're abroad, you can come and get this place. But it's a coding application. It's about like um, we have different branches in our work, different departments, and
Mm.
camp is one of them. That's why. So we work in as a uh, camping. We work camping. We work online support, and we work with what else? What else? We work with centers and mobile groups. So these are different branches. But
Okay.
camping is huge, really huge program. And this year we had the whole summer. We started somewhere back in spring and finished some in autumn. So yeah, yes, many sessions this year. Yeah.
Oh, I
And
bet.
yeah, and plenty of photos, and it's very complicated to work in camp, really, because you're always tired. You have plenty of things to do, but then you see this, you know, faces that are changing, bodies that are changing. So people come very close, very isolated, and in the end, they hug, they smile, and you think, okay. So I do this job, but it's complicated, but it worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really worth it.
So it sounds like you get a little bit of resource back whenever you see other people smile and actually start to come back to life, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So when you sometimes we need some photos, and check photos that were taken during the camp, and it's so warm and so inspirable. When you just look at these photos, it's some activities that we did, our colleagues did, because sometimes you watch some from other camps, from other sessions, and
Mm-hmm.
colleagues did, and this is kids smiles and some funny situations. So it's about life. I think that this helps, to build in war, in plenty of um, um, painful situations, painful experience, something like when you look at this part, you think that death is all around, coldness is all around, and then you do something else, and you bring this vitality, this life, and it this very part gives our kids stands and resource necessary to grow up adults and set their own personal adult lives. So this experience of vitality, these memories that they get, so they give them childhood.
Mm. And I think that that is beyond amazing because childhood is very important. Um, and I mean, it's literally the foundation for the rest of someone's life. So I think y'all are doing an amazing and fantastic job for not only the children of today, but for them in the future and for their children. And you said it yourself. It's literally building and putting everything into future generations because uh, you don't just kind of say it's one done like hey we get one session in with you and you're good to go like go on out there pull up your bootstraps you got this y'all don't do that y'all sit there and take them in and actually give them the chance to be and it sounds like that is exactly what some of those people need because I, a lot of people in all over the world don't actually have a childhood for one reason or another. And to have it be because of war has to be such a devastating blow. Because I know for myself, I would find a way to blame myself for all the bad stuff that's happening, and so I'm sure some kids do that too over there. And that's got to be one of the hardest things to deal with, is dealing with kids that think that it's all their fault, whenever really it's not. Um, so since y'all are going on 5 years, no, y'all are going on six now, right?
Yeah.
uh, so have you been able to actually like keep track or have follow-ups with some of those ones that were in year one? Uh, and just kind of be like, hey, like, do you follow up with those kids and the families? Do they come back through? How long do they usually stick around?
Uh, it's thank you for asking this because I forgot, but you reminded me. We have kids that grew up with our organization, really grew up, and then volunteered. So they when our co-founder Alena Razvadovska was back in 2018 in Donetsk region when conflict was kind of more local, but still war was there. She met teenagers there, and then they grew up with our organization, and they got supports, and they she helped them um, move from Donetsk region to safer place here in Kiev region, and then this kid like Margarita, she joined as a volunteer organization. Then she started working and then she got married, and she's waiting for her kid. So we have kids. 5 years is enough to have kids that were really our kids have kids. So it's a really warm story. And by the way, she somewhere maybe before Christmas, we are hoping that she will have a baby.
uh,
And yeah, it's kind of a story now. And some people come and get help, and we don't know what happens to them, but some stay with us,
mhm,
stay with us for a long time. So it depends, it always depends. Some
mhm,
kids that we work with uh, really became part of such department in our organization. We have like um, mm, uh, um, community, teenage and kids community that sometimes gather and brainstorm about the needs, their perspectives, their goals, and share with us because we want hear their voice. We
mhm,
want hear their vision about organization as well,
mhm,
about communication as well. So it helps us to develop, not to become too adulty, because we are named like voices of kids, and our aim is to hear these voices. Like in my sweet short, we all were once children, and we want them to remind us how to
mhm.
be a child and what is important, not to be too adult.
I love that. Not to not be too adult, to not be too adulty. Um, because I think I tend to do that a lot. I forget how to be a child because I tried to not be a child for so long. I try to grow up real early. And so that's what a lot of those children are probably doing too, trying to grow up way before they're supposed to. And y'all give them that chance to be there. But I'm so freaking like stoked that y'all have essentially a grandchild coming.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so it's interesting story that
Hmm.
some yes, it's our kids also grew up, our own kids grew up with organization,
Hmm.
and so it's about life. I think that what is important, the main thing, what is important. So when you want to help um, children, you should remember that um, uh, uh, children, they are clever, and the psycho system is very flexible, and sometimes you can help them, but in many cases they can help you.
Mm. So it's really a give and take kind of thing.
Yeah,
You help them and then they help you, but they probably don't know that they're helping you whenever they really do help you, huh?
yeah, it's important to remember that,
Hmm.
uh, and uh, they really, they give this resource, I think.
Hmm.
They give this resource, and they even don't think that they help. They just live their childhood,
Hmm.
and our aim is to open eyes and see it, uh, ears and hear them,
Hmm.
and it's important. It's what we do as psychologists, as our managers do, communicators. So
Hmm.
all people, we are aimed to hear them, to give them their childhood, and
Hmm.
mm, to I think to keep vitality, not only like for kids but for parents. Happy kids for happy parents, happy parents, happy kids.
Yeah, that would make sense. I haven't heard that put that way before. I've usually heard it happy wife, happy life, but happy kids, happy parents, happy kids. That would make sense. And y'all aren't just dealing with uh like a family member. You're dealing with the family system, and that's a huge difference. Because whenever we're dealing with just one individual, we don't tend to take into account all the other influences that are coming in. Um, and again, y'all, I'm just still just blown away by how much y'all are actually doing for the world, not just over in Ukraine, but this is going to affect the world over in 10, 15 years. Because we never know who's going to have an effect on what. Uh, and we never know who's going to grow up to be what. So who knows? Maybe the cure for cancer comes from someone that went through Camp Plus.
Maybe, why not? Why not?
Hmm.
I think that it's my personal thing, and the phrase that the value I try to keep to, uh, uh, be where you are, do what you can with everything you have.
Mm.
Good, stay where you are. Okay, I am staying here in Kiev. Okay, do everything you can. I do with everything you have. So if I have lemon, let's make lemonade.
I
Yeah.
love that. And it sounds like you not only made lemonade, you made like a lemon cakes, uh, lemon cookies. Uh,
Yeah, we have the whole menu. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because you said so yourself, you have to utilize all these different tools, and you can't do that if you just know how to make lemonade only. Because you're probably not getting just lemons, you're probably getting some limes, you're probably getting some other fruits and stuff thrown at you. And so you've got to have these different recipes to be able to throw everything together. And that can't really be done by one person. Like you said, y'all had to grow, and it's not something that is done easily. It's not done overnight, And the work that y'all are doing isn't necessarily done overnight either. In fact, I would argue that it continues to go even whenever someone leaves Camp Plus, or if they just have a couple of sessions with y'all, the work still goes on. You impact lives on a deep and personal level that some people will probably be thankful that they never have to. Such people being those that don't want to have children for one reason or another, because they're afraid of the negative impact that they could have on someone. But you're trying to take all those negative impacts that the rest of the world has thrown on them and turn it into something beautiful again.
Yeah,
There's uh, there's the Japanese art of putting broken plates and stuff back together with gold. Um, it sounds like that's kind of what you're doing with the families. Y'all are trying to find a way to make it the same, kind of, but it's never really going to be the same once it's broken or pieces falling off. But you'll find a way to kind of get that back in there, but make it really pretty while you'll do it. Um,
I like
and
your metaphor. I never thought about it in this way, but I like it. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, it's
hmm
close to some yeah, we don't try to build some kind of something new. We try
hmm
to use everything we have and use
hmm
this with gold to stick back and make a picture, make
hmm
make it work, make it work.
Yeah, and oh, you know those I forget what they're called, but it's one big picture, but whenever you zoom in, it's actually a whole other picture in itself. I can see y'all doing that with like a picture of the families and the kids, and then you zoom out, and then it's like just the logo or something. That would be really cool. But I mean, that's kind of what y'all are doing, right? Y'all are helping one, and then in helping one, you help the rest, and you also help the rest while you're helping the one.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's it. Yes. And
so,
then I'm happy that we have no that this our team is huge and we have
mhm,
a lot of psychologists and psychotherapists and people study, people develop
mhm,
always. And no, in our organization, we can have this extra studying all the time.
mhm,
And I think that, yeah, it makes some impact in the future, even in case of another vision of profession of psychologist. I think that uh, maybe it will make like, people can trust more like
mm,
and use these tools because they work. It's not something you should believe or not. It's not religion. It's science and tools that work, and it can make your life better. And
mm,
it's important to remember, like dentist. You go to dentist because you understand that it's important. You go to psychologist when you have some problem or your kid has some problem. It's not only about wartime. It's for everyone,
mhm,
and it's important to remember that mental health and some for family system is huge. If you
mhm,
want, it's okay to sort out some problems with psychologist or psychotherapist. Why not?
mhm. Yeah. Um, And I love how you're saying that mental health is important because it is. And of course, you think it's important, otherwise, you wouldn't be working in it. Um, but that's one thing that I wish more people knew, that if there's something going on, like, hey, you're you're not thinking right, you got something going on in your head, something's really bothering you, why don't you go see someone that can help you?
Yeah,
Because it's kind of like, hey, your car's messed up. And it's like, okay, you're going to drive it on the highway, but it might break down. Uh, so why not go see a mechanic? You know, like you can try to work on it yourself, but it may not get anywhere. Um, but I've also heard that psychologists are uh, the facilitator for the healing, because y'all really just kind of show the children, uh, y'all show people like, hey, this is some ideas, and then the person kind of works through it themselves, but with your help. Is that kind of right?
Um, yeah, it's individual responsibility for the result of
Mm-hmm.
psychotherapy or something, or some consultations. But psychotherapist or psychologist just helps,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of provides. Provides individual through this way. That's all,
Mm-hmm.
and you do your job. Nobody wants give you some advice or something. No, it's not our job to give advice how to live or have some um, uh, some instruments to your life. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's about another thing. It's about you take your responsibility for your life, for your mental health,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, you have some person who helps you in this. That's all.
Yeah, that's well, beautifully put. Um, um, so we are near the end of the radio episode. We can keep going live if you'd like, and we can either turn it into some smaller episodes. But before we make a judgment, I do always like to ask my guests if they'd like to come back on uh, for a follow up because normally I'm getting personal stories or something like that, and I believe that everyone's life story and experiences and stuff can't be packed into 1 hour. So I like to try to get people on several times, and uh, I mean, you never know what's going to happen in 1 day, 2 days, a week, a month. And so it'll give us a way to kind of catch up, see how the organization's doing, um, and everything like that. So, would you be interested in being back on again?
Of course, my
Sweet.
pleasure. Yeah, yeah. I think that I liked really conversation. Really liked it, and I think that you're doing also important work because talking to different people, their experience all over the world, and bring it one place, all this stuff together. It's huge and it's important, of course. Yeah, and if it is interesting, if it is if I have something to talk, yeah, why not my
Oh,
pleasure.
well, I love it, and I'm super happy that you will. And so we'll get that set up. But the thing is you are, like I said, normally I'm dealing with a person, and kind of dealing with either their profession, their life story, stuff like that. But with you, we're talking about an organization. We're talking about a movement. We're talking about helping the children. We're talking about helping the families of the children. We're talking about a war torn area that is just deeply impacted by everything psychological that you can think of. And I'm sitting here and I just had like a flood of questions hit me so fast that I was like, I can't pick which one I want because there's just so many interesting things that we could talk about because you use art therapy a whole bunch. And art therapy is one of those things that is very, uh, w- I wouldn't say loose, but it's very undefined. People can really make art as they see fit. There's no right or wrong way to do it except for to not do it, right? But I guess that would still say something too.
Yeah, yeah, so really there are plenty of things we can talk about,
Hmm.
and yeah, we have and of course I have here plenty of stories, war stories, and also me is one of psychologists like in Ukraine who work also with kids who were returned from deportation, in Russia, and also we work with this, and we have some stories, and I think that it is interesting.
Mhm.
And also our protocols and our expertise in mental health work, and not only camps, but not only Camp Plus program, but other programs. And yeah, we work experience, how to deal, humor, uh, different memes. Memes. I can be more prepared with memes. We have a lot of memes. And you know, when it was election time, our Telegram and our YouTube and like our TikTok was full of memes with Trump and with. So yeah, we just make jokes. Yeah, we
uh,
react on everything.
oh man, I can only imagine the kind of jokes y'all had over there because oh boy, over here they were.
Yeah. Uh,
Um, but yeah, that would totally give me time to uh come up with a little bit of psychology humor if I can maybe come find some good jokes or something in there. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we have plenty of psychology humor here in the Ukraine. Pictures. Yeah, so like some uh, picture my colleague sent me yesterday. There are many like very small stream with plenty of boards on it, and the psychotherapy says, imagine that your thoughts are kind of bullets, and then there is a sign, my brain, and plenty of bullets breaking each other in this small stream with no water at all. So yeah, and yeah, we have a lot. We make jokes of everything.
Well, I think that that's good. Kind of like we talked about before, humor is one of the best medicines, I think. Um, and I think that kind of came from is a Robin Williams movie, Patch Adams. Um, and that one it always makes me sad, but he always sticks out in my mind because I was going to college and stuff to go into the healthcare field, and I still kind of am, but I went from more of the medical, physical stuff to the internal, like, hey, what's going on up here? And I've always kind of wondered if humor was being so well used in medicine, like in the Patch Adams version, then surely humor is really good for the mind of medicine too.
Yeah, it
So,
is.
uh,
All spheres of our life are covered with humor. Our soldiers, they are making plenty of videos in TikTok about the everyday life there in front line, and they try to make jokes. It helps like to support your brain. Humor is
hmm
important. I think that Viktor Frankl uh, wrote about this in his book. I very often come back to his book,
mm,
mm, the human in the search of life senses. It's very popular here in Ukraine, but it was written after the Second World War, after his experience in concentration camp.
mm.
And humor also has place in his book. I think that it's some topic for next conversation. Art
Yeah,
therapy and humor.
that
Art
sounds good to
therapy
me.
and humor. Yeah.
Art therapy and humor. Okay, we'll definitely make that the next conversation. So I'll send the appropriate links and everything to get it all scheduled again. Um, and I mean, this has just been awesome because I've not talked to someone that is part of a foundation, an organization that is going to change the world like this. This is beyond cool. And I just wish nothing but the best of luck to you and everyone else. But uh, is there anything that you would like to talk about or say before we have to hit stop? Or do you want to keep going for a little bit?
Uh, I just wanted to thank you.
Hmm.
I had great time talking with you. It was really super. And thank you for inviting. And thank you for giving this place to talk about our work, to make people know about it. It's important for us,
Hmm.
and for giving your the space uh, uh, to talk about donations, because it's also important to continue our work. And we're happy that we continue making our friends around the world.
Well, you got another friend halfway across the world here, so
Bye. So you
uh,
need this sweatshirt.
I do, because I do need a reminder that we were all children once, because I forget that myself sometimes. Um, and I guess I can get that at thevoices.org.
What?
Can I get that sweatshirt at thevoices.org?
It's our merch.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, cool.
yes, and yeah, we have it as a merch, and you can order it at our website, and you can support us and get some T-shirts or sweatshirt.
Okay.
It's very easy way to help. You get something, we get something.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Hopefully by the next time I have you on, I'll be wearing one of my own.
Yeah, good deal.
Sounds good. Well, Oksana, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I can't wait to have you back on. So I've got to thank you, and again, I thank you on behalf of all the children and all the families and all the unborn grandchildren that are going to come from your program. So once again, thank you.
Thank you too. Have a nice time.
You as well. Shalom.
Bye.
Um,
Bye.
and stopping recording. All right, recording has stopped.
Okay.